Seventh time that you go before the interview board?
No, sir.
Sixth.
This is my sixth attempt, but I will go for the fourth time before the
Oh, I
interview.
see. I mean, you have appeared 6 times,
Yes.
and twice you have appeared before the board.
Sir, this will be the fourth time. I
What?
have already appeared for 3 times.
I see. Where are you working at present?
Sir, I am undergoing training at the Indian Institute of Mass Communication, New Delhi. Prior to that, I had worked for 2 months in All India Radio. Thereafter, my training started and I joined the training. And it will continue till October this year.
How does radio compare with TV
Sir,
as far as a medium of mass communication is concerned?
Sir, radio is confined to the audio, whereas TV is audio-visual, both. And with radio, we cannot communicate much more as compared to TV, because TV will have pictures also, which communicate much more than just words. So I think TV is much more powerful compared to radio as a medium, but radio will have less data to transmit. So it might be easier to transmit the radio data, and its reach might be more compared to the TV.
You belong to
I belong to Allahabad.
Allahabad, Prayagraj.
Yes.
What is the meaning of Prayag?
Sir, it is an ancient name. I cannot recollect the meaning.
What is Yag?
Yagya, or
Yes, you're correct, you are.
some ahuti maybe might have been done there. Some yagya. Sir, I am not aware of the exact.
The focal point of Prayag or Allahabad is
So it is the Sangam,
Sangam.
where Ganga and Yamuna and the ancient Saraswati is believed to be the confluence point of these 3 rivers.
Triveni.
Yes.
Now, Saraswati has been mentioned in Vedas, in ancient literature, very often. Where are the traces of Saraswati today?
Sir, I recently read in the newspapers that the traces have been reported in Haryana, but I'm not sure of the exact traces. It is supposed to be somewhere near Indus. Some literature cites that it is near Indus. Some literature cites that it flows down through parallel to the Yamuna. So, but there is some disputable literature which is present right now. But I have not delved completely into this knowledge and this information.
Every 12 years, a very big fair is held at Sangam.
Yes, Kumbh Mela is
Kumbh Mela. It commemorates what event?
So
See, I am information officer, so you must have information. No?
Sir, actually, my role is to transmit information as much to the people.
not acquiring.
But in that process, I should have acquired the information also. And I will look up the exact reasons why it is held.
So, why is it called Kumbh? What does it signify?
Sir, Kumbh is basically denotes a pot,
A pitcher.
and can I guess if it might be related to the Samudra Manthan that was held,
Yes.
that occurred?
It is commemoration of that event.
And the drops of the Amrit, it fell in 4 places: Haridwar, Ujjain, Allahabad, and so it is celebrated in that
Ujjain, Allahabad,
Haridwar,
and 4th, Nasik. So, good. What motivates motivates you to shift from Indian Information Service to the generalist services like IAS or IPS or so?
Sir, I believe that being in IAS or IPS will give me the opportunity to work at the district level. And it will give me the opportunity to implement the policies, and I wanted to do that. So that is why I have reappeared in this examination.
There is a special provision in Indian Constitution with regard to civil service, which protects these civil services from harassment or say undue punitive actions. Which articles are these?
Sir, it is Article 310 and 311. They state that a civil servant is appointed by a particular authority, the President of India, and no lower authority can remove him. Also, the principles of natural justice have to be followed while taking any action. As in case the civil servant has to be given the opportunity, he should be heard if action is taken against him. So these two articles, they follow the principle of natural justice, and they give the opportunity to the civil servant to present his or her case before the disciplinary authority. And it also says that only a person who has appointed and no person lower in rank to the person who is appointed can remove the civil servant.
Can a person be dismissed? Can a civil servant be dismissed without being assigned any reason or without being given any chance to explain his conduct?
I do not think, sir, that civil servant can be dismissed without giving a chance to explain himself.
Admiral Purohit was shown the door without being given any chance or notice.
Sir, I am not aware of that case, but in any circumstance, the Article 310 and 311, they state that principle of natural justice should be followed.
This very article gives the power to President. You must be aware of that.
Okay, sir, I will look into
So, but in very exceptional circumstances. So, now, your subjects, you are an IIT graduate.
Yes, sir. So I have done my mechanical engineering.
And you worked in NTPC.
Yes.
Oh. So by deserting that area, you have done disservice to the society. Number one, you deprived a person from joining that seat, and number two, you are giving no use, no returns back to the society, which invested so much in your education.
Sir,
Don't you think this is not ethical?
Sir, I have worked for 6 years in NTPC, more than 6 years, and I have contributed to the organization. I was in the research and development department, but I believe that since I am more inclined to the civil services.
In what way your knowledge of mechanical engineering would help you in civil service?
Sir, it might not be exactly the knowledge of mechanical engineering, but I have done my BTech, which has given me an exposure to the various kinds of knowledge which is present, and it has made me to analyze things in detail. And maybe specifically, since you have asked, I have worked in power sector. Now renewable energy is upcoming, or even while giving contracts, I might have certain knowledge of the field, so I might be able to do justice to the particular area.
That any intelligent person can do. For that, this big degree was not required. So much study was not required. So any graduate could have done that job. So my question is, the society trusted you, invested so much in you, and you did so well, and you were doing a great job in NTPC, but suddenly you leave it for something which can be done by others also. So isn't it waste of so much effort and money?
Sir, I believe that I have worked for 6.5 years in
So
NTPC.
6.5 years is enough as Guru Dakshina.
No, sir. No amount of work is sufficient to contribute back to the society.
I see.
But since I am more inclined to join the civil services, I think I might be able to contribute more effectively and efficiently to this service. I have worked hard earlier also, and since I believe that I might be able to work here also, it might be for the larger good of the people, because in the district I will be able to work for the poor people directly, whereas in NTPC I was not able to contribute directly to the people, so it will give me more satisfaction and it might bring out the best out of me.
Now, paint a profile of a district officer, say of UP, of Allahabad Dehat. Now there are 2 districts. So, according to you, what should be the profile of district magistrate Allahabad Dehat? Kaushambi it is called, isn't it?
So the profile, by that we mean the nature of work that he has to do. It will be related to the various sectors, implementation of various schemes, like in the education sector, or in the health sector, or in the empowerment of women, in relation to implementation of schemes in these areas, in relation to the children who are working there, in relation to the concern of the farmers there, in relation to the development of industries in those areas. So I believe it is a diverse work. Also in relation to disaster management, as we have seen in Nepal today, disaster had occurred. So in that case also, a district magistrate will have certain work to do, and coordinating at all levels, and making people get involved in all these activities which are being undertaken by the government of India, making these things reach to the last mile. Also implementation of technologies, various technologies that have come up. So I believe it is a vast role which
No, it's all right. Suppose you are the district magistrate of Kaushambi and you get information that school teachers are not attending to their job regularly. As a result, studies are not being carried out properly. What would you do about it?
So I will start first at the basics. I will see if there is any report or survey which has been done which has questioned why teachers are not able to deliver. I will have a look at those data also. Then I will visit the schools and ask the teachers or principals what is the problem there, and necessary steps should be taken so as to ensure that both the side, the teacher as well as the children, both are able to come to the school. It might be that there is no facility of transport for the teachers, or the posting of the teachers is very far or remotely located and they do not have any transportation. So there can be several causes which might have led to such a situation. Because all the policies exist, but implementation problem is there in India, in most of the districts. So I would like to know the basic causal factors which have led to such a situation, and then only take action accordingly. And even after taking certain actions, there might be incentives as well as disincentives which I would enforce in the system.
What kind of right is the right to information?
Sir, right to information is a legal right under the Right to Information Act 2005, and information has to be provided to the person seeking information within a specified number of days, which is 30. And if the information is not supplied to the person, then he or she can appeal to the appellate bodies. But there are certain clauses in the Right to Information Act according to which not all information can be divulged. Under Section 8 of the Right to Information Act, certain institutions are exempted from divulging information in the interest of national security.
What is your assessment of the working of the right to information regime in the country?
Sir, it has been around 10 years that this Right to Information Act has come into it has empowered the people. So many scams and corruptions have been unearthed using this Right to Information Act, and it has made the civil servants and the government to think more about how to govern. It has made the people more empowered, and it has made the civil servants and the government more responsible and accountable for what they are doing. But it has also led to a kind of policy paralysis also in certain areas.
So on the balance, what is your conclusion or assessment, your own assessment of the situation?
So I believe that it has provided a lot of information to the people, it has empowered them, but cases are still pending, and there are also cases where frivolously, some cases have been said that this information is frivolous and there is no need to disclose it. So recently there was also an attempt to upload all the information which has been disclosed under the RTI on the websites, but not many ministries or departments have executed this thing. So I believe more proactiveness should be there on part of the departments and governments to supply the information, so that less and less number of people ask for information. They can access if they can.
The Central Information Commission had directed political parties in the country to appoint information officers to answer to the queries that are addressed to them. What is the state of affairs there?
Sir, there has been no response on behalf of the parties as far as I know, and I do not know the exact legal issues which are involved, but I will look it up. There is some legal issue because the Chief Information Commissioner and the CIC is not in a position to get this thing implemented.
Political parties have not acted upon it.
Yes.
Now, what has the Central Information Commission done?
Sir, I am not aware of the directions that the CIC has given.
You said that it's a legal right.
Yes.
What are other kinds of rights?
So there is a fundamental right which is enshrined in the Constitution under Article 32, from 18 to 32, and they can be enforced.
How do you differentiate between the two?
For yes, sir. So for getting my constitutional rights enforced, I can go to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court can then direct the particular right to be given to the person who is deprived of that right. But legal rights, I am not exactly aware of the. We might not be able to go to the Supreme Court, so there is some legal gap which exists. But the Supreme Court might entertain this.
But can you go to the court at all, if not to the Supreme Court, on the right to information?
Yes, sir. We can go to the Supreme Court.
Is there any provision in the Act itself, or it's an implied, right of interest that you are making?
Sir, the Supreme Court can admit all these under the special leave petition if it wants to. There is nothing in the Act mentioned because the appellate authority is the Chief Information Central Information Commission, where we can go if they do not provide the requisite information.
There are no fundamental rights in the UK or in Australia or in New Zealand, and until 1982 there were no fundamental rights in Canada. Does it mean that the rights of citizens of those countries or subjects of those countries are totally unprotected? Australians don't have fundamental rights. So change any time, you know, by simple process of amendment. So it's not a constitutional right. Now, what is the philosophy behind fundamental rights? What makes them fundamental? What is what is the theory that makes them so important? What is the legal theory that makes them so important?
Sir, all the persons who are born, they are privileged to have certain basic standards of living and certain freedom. They should enjoy certain freedom, and they should have the right to express themselves. But sir, I do not. There are certain universal.
What is common law theory? What is common law theory?
Sir, I am not aware of that.
Britain is the source of common law tradition, which has spread to other countries also. In fact, we also follow common right system, but with some variations, with some changes, in the sense that we have written constitution, the UK doesn't have. So what is the definition of common law? What does common law include?
Sir, what I believe is common law is that it applies to all the persons, whether you are in the government, whether you are a resident citizen. It applies to all the people who are.
Besides that, what kinds of law are included in common law? Do you believe?
Sir, I am not aware.
Customary law, parliamentary law, positive laws made by parliament are also common law. Customary rights are also common law. Case laws are also common law. Laws laid down by courts.
Sir, I am not aware of this.
You told you are from a conference city?
Yes, sir, from Allahabad.
Okay. Which is the best known conference city in the entire of the world? And which was the first conference city that was known to Indians? Okay. Right. You're a mechanical engineer?
Yes.
Must have known about the designing of the cars.
Sir, I did not have any particular course, but
Then?
a generalized fluid dynamics.
Aeroplanes?
Pardon, sir?
Aeroplanes?
Yes, sir. I did not have any specific course specializing in these aspects, but I did have fluid mechanics, solid mechanics courses which apply to this field.
Okay. A very simple question. When the left aileron of the aircraft is lowered and the right aileron is upward, and the fin goes on to be turning in towards its right hand side, what does it mean? The plane will go to move in which direction?
Sir, if the plane is tilted in a particular direction, then according to Bernoulli's theorem.
No. I have given you a simple situation, right? 3 parts of aeroplane, and we are talking about that what will going to happen to the aeroplane because of these changes. As simple as that. It will going to move towards right or left.
If it is tilted towards the left.
To which direction will going to move? Left aileron lowered, right aileron lifted, the fin is in the right hand direction.
So it will go in the left direction.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. What exactly is a V-front in an internal combustion engine?
V-front? Sir, I am not aware.
And what exactly is the difference between MacPherson strut suspension and telescopic shock absorber?
Sir, I cannot recall these things.
And CRDI?
Yes.
What is the mechanism of CRDI? Okay, last question from mechanical engineering. 4 countries make cars: Japan, Korea, Europe, and United States. All of them are different. All of them are different, right? How is it that they are different? Japanese car is how different from American car, which is different from European car, which is different from a Korean car.
Sir, one aspect of difference could be the kind of pollution norms that they have.
That is not. We are talking about car as total. Europeans have a different type of pollution norm.
Yes. Sir, they have the structurally, some have right hand drive and some has left hand drive, so that is one
That's
difference.
not a major difference. We can always go to adjust it as per the country where it is required to be sold. Can we allow the question to pass?
Sir, I will try some more.
No, it's not a matter of being trying. I mean, if you know it, you know it. If you don't know it.
I am not aware of the specific.
Okay, let's come to your subject, psychology.
Yes.
What's the basic difference between behaviorism and behavioralism?
Sir, I am not aware.
Okay, let's come to your hobby, right? Listening to music is your hobby.
Yes.
And if you have to point out one basic characteristic of Rahman's music, which will be the one that will go to comprise of?
So the
And before going into that, I mean, associated with the previous question, we have come to this place. What does this place, the name of this institute, means from the perspective of perception?
ensemble.
What is the German word that is given to it?
Sir, I am not aware of
Okay.
the German translation.
Okay, come to Rahman. How is it Rahman's music is different from the other one?
Sir, I can tell qualitatively that it appeals to the
Basic difference, very basic difference between Rahman's music and others' music.
Sir, I cannot distinguish because I listen to music not from the technical aspect, but
But still, you will be able to generalize it.
sir, since I do not listen to it from the technical aspect.
No, I'm not talking about technical. It's your imagination that is allowing you to think in such a manner. I never ask anything technical.
So I think it has the fast beats. Most of the songs they have fast beats.
No. How is it? Mumbai's Tu Hi Re doesn't have a fast beat. Not friends, that is Mustafa, it's also not having a fast beat.
Yes. I'm wrong in that.
Well, come to your information service, right? One of the purpose of information service is that when you are in that service is to help people build a perception, right?
Yes.
Because the choice of the use of the words can go on to send a very wrong signal, right? So recently earthquakes have gone on to struck a good portion of Nepal.
Yes, sir.
Supposing you are a reporter, you are an editor, and even both of them, electronic medium or even in print medium, any one of them, and you had to choose a specific sentence to portray whatever earthquake did to it, how is it that you're going to portray this earthquake as a villain, as a crusader? How exactly is it that you're going to portray this earthquake? And in a similar manner, if it is that, any type of inundation goes on to take the shape of a flood, how is it that you are going to portray that part? So that the people don't lose respect for the nature, and at the same time they know that they can't go on to play pranks with nature.
Sir, the message could be.
Use the headline, only the headline, and then the second line. Print medium.
Earthquake in Nepal creates fury in these towns. Need need to reconsider the developmental options, the developmental paths that we are taking.
Now, add some ethical tinge to it, environmental ethics. You have environmental ethics you have to study as part of your fourth paper.
Yes.
Add this environmental ethics tinge to it.
So we have to balance.
Balance it and then give me a sentence.
So
If you wish, you can go to take some amount of time to write it as well.
So the first will be to give the exact message what has happened, the headline, that there is a earthquake in Nepal which has of this scale.
So will the people going to like it unless you're going to make this news sensational? Will the people enjoy it? When you use the word fury, right, then that is for sensationalizing the news. It's a regular event.
So,
Earthquake is a regular event.
Yes, sir, but of the scale which has happened of 7.91.
That is also regular. That is also regular. Now, let me know. Earthquake is an event or a hazard.
Sir,
Is it a natural event or it's a hazard?
Sir, earthquake is an event and hazard is the kind of development structures that have been
Development
built.
structures or irresponsible structures?
So it could be both. There might be a lack of norms which are being followed in building.
Right. That means if it's an event, it's a natural event, is it good or bad?
So there is no polarity which we can assign to a natural event.
Why not? Had earthquake not taken place, there would have been no Himalayas. It must have taken 1 billion earthquakes to form Himalayas. It must have taken another 1 billion earthquakes to form Aravallis, and another maybe 1 billion of them to form Deccan basalts, right? Another of these 1 billion earthquakes, or 1 million earthquakes to form Narmada, Son, Damodar Valley. So when it goes on to suit you, you go on to call it as event. When it doesn't, you go on to call it as hazard. Is it not depictive of a sick mentality?
Sir, I believe that if people are getting affected negatively, then we should portray it as such.
Earthquakes don't kill, people kill themselves.
Yes, sir, I agree. But people have to be informed of the actual situation which is occurring.
They can't be. It's not possible. It's not possible.
So not possible to inform.
It's simply not possible. Because you don't know, you can't come to predict it.
Yeah, not prediction. I am saying if the event has occurred, after that people should be able to get hold of the right information and
Yes,
what
that's right.
action they have to do.
That's after.
Yes.
That's a part of administration.
Yes.
But is it that you can ever be prepared for any type of a so-called disaster? And secondly, that is it right to call any natural event as a hazard or a disaster, ethically speaking? Because then people are going to lose respect for it.
Sir, ethics is about how it affects the people in the society. So we have to consider from that aspect.
Gentleman, you start criticizing nature because it doesn't suit you, right? Nature has been always kind to you, You start saying that if the flood is going to affect your region and that a good amount of buildings have been submerged. Now when you live in a flood-prone area, what is going to happen? Living in Allahabad, between Yamuna and Ganga, it is bound to be flood affected because it's a flood affected region. And then you start criticizing it, ki flood aate rehta hai yahan, and that government doesn't want to do anything at all. This is ethical. Is this ethical?
Sir, it is not about criticizing, it is about creating awareness among people that this is a flood prone zone and we have to take certain proactive steps so as to avoid the kind like in Odisha.
Now, that is where I am. Is it a flood prone zone or is it going to be an inundation prone zone? Flood is a negative connotation. Right? Hazard is a negative connotation. We are talking about only because you are talking about information service, and this is the information that you have to give to the people. So that's the reason that we are following the semantics very strictly on that count. So should you go to call it as a flood affected region or should you go to say it's inundation affected?
Sir, actually I am not aware of the exact difference between these two terms. But I believe that flood is with respect to how it affects the people and inundation is a simple scientific term of describing the event. Assuming that, I think that inundation is the right kind of word that has to be used in conveying this information. But at the same time, we also have to convey what people and what the government officials have to do to.
That's a separate part. The first is, if people going to be having a hackneyed notions and perceptions that are lopsided about a natural event, then they will keep on saying that this shouldn't have happened, earthquake shouldn't have happened in Nepal. Earthquake should have taken place in Nepal or not? Should have taken place in Nepal or not?
So,
we can't prevent it.
Yeah, we cannot predict.
So, is it that earthquake is going to take place in Delhi or not? It's a matter of time. There is a seismic gap and you're going to be having you're going to be, any day you're going to have an experience of 8.9 on the Richter scale. That's the maximum it can go to reach to Delhi. Half of Delhi will be flattened. Then again the same thing. That is, it's because of government's apathy and everything. Why is it not that the people can go to realize that their buildings are in such a zone where they're bound to get affected, some of these places. So is it not that the use of the words by the journalists and by people who are in information service has a lot of a meaning to convey, particularly with respect to environmental ethics?
Yes, sir. I believe that the choice of words is very important. I was not aware of the exact difference.
Okay, take another example.
Yes.
Train accidents take place.
Yes.
And then you're going to write, "Itne log mare gaye." Now, is it that human beings are like donkeys or rodents who are going to get killed? I mean, is this the right expression for both animals as well as human beings? Is it a responsible journalism?
Sir, I believe that people should be informed of all the things which have occurred. Suppose in a train accident,
you're talking about suggestion. I'm talking about something else. I'm saying that is this a responsible journalism? To compare human beings, I'm talking about not Homo sapiens, Homo sapiens sapiens. I'm talking about human beings to rodents, to dogs, to cats, and to other type of animals. They also going to die, human beings also going to die. Shouldn't there be any differentiation?
Yes, sir. Actually, it is dehumanizing the people.
So why should going to take so long a discussion to make you understand that it is dehumanizing? Right?
In 1934 also, this region had been badly rocked by an earthquake. Mahatma Gandhi had made a statement which had been...
I was not able to answer some questions which I should have been able to answer, especially the Indian information services related.
Your interview on the whole went very well, and I'll rate it as good performance. One thing I'll caution you about. Since you are already in Indian Information Service, you'll be taken to task rather strongly by the board. You see, they will pay special attention to you. Normally the board members think that, look, the man graduated from IIT, got a good job, then he left that, joined Indian Information Service, now